Hello guys, welcome back onto the channel. We're gonna continue checking out the new stuff in the update 1.11 that just came out today. And we're gonna be checking out the new layouts in the Autodrome Lago Maggiore track. That's a track that's been in the game since its launch. There's also the new track, the Monza one that we already checked out in the other videos. So we're gonna be checking out these new ones, these new layouts. There are 6 layouts in total. These ones were present in the game, the GP and the GP reverse one, and there are these new ones: the center one, the east one, the west one, and the reverse variants. We're gonna be checking out only the first 3 because the other ones are pretty much the same, only reversed. And we're gonna be doing 1-lap races in maybe, well, since these are short layouts, I think we can afford to maybe do 2 laps in each of them. Yeah, 2 laps I think seems reasonable. And we're also going to be driving one of the new cars they added in the update. So let's check out, I think the one we're going to go with. Let's go with the Toyota Supra RZ, the most requested car in the game. Or at least one of the most. Alright, so let's set a 2-lap race. That's good enough for me. I'm gonna turn off boost because I don't want this affecting the outcome of the race other than the difficulty itself. And let's change the difficulty to professional, and the car class I'm gonna leave exactly as it is, otherwise it's gonna be impossible for us to win the race or to even be competitive with the AI. Well, that sounds silly in hindsight because the AI is not competitive. It's either too difficult or too easy. Alright, so let's check out the new layout. And we're running the car completely stock, so the tires that we're using are the sports hard. And the only thing that I'm gonna do is turn off the traction control, just to get a feel for how the car actually handles. I can see that this is a fairly high-speed layout. It's mostly straights. I don't know why I brake this early, because I know my way around this track. Okay. Alright, so this is where the new layout differs. It makes us take a right when in the main layout you were supposed to go straight for a little bit longer. And we are right at the end of the track. So yeah, this is a fairly high speed one. We also, oh crap, we also skip the banking section entirely. We were supposed to go straight and down into the banked section. So the banking section, the banked section, is not present in this new layout. Yeah, this car is actually way more difficult to control, to drive than I had anticipated. I had a lot less trouble driving the F1, which, well, at least, as I said, I don't care about mechanics or technical specs in cars. I'm more of a visual type of guy, but at least from my point of view, the F1 seems to be faster than the Supra on paper. I know that the Supra, if you tune it up, this can turn into a whole nother beast, but at least at stock configuration, I don't think that this car is actually faster than the F1 at all. I might be wrong though, so if any of you who are more into the technical side of cars know which car is actually faster in real life at stock configuration, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm kind of curious to know which one it is. But yeah, that's been our first look at one of the new layouts that they added in this new update, and we're gonna be moving on to the next layout. Alright, so let's check out the second layout of the Autodrome Lago Maggiore. The only thing that I changed in the car for this one is that instead of running sports hard tires, I'm running sports soft, because I find that sports hard was a little bit too difficult to drive on. And I don't know, maybe I should try racing soft for the last layout just to see how much it improves the car handling. I would expect that it's gonna improve a lot. I'm under the impression that this car is actually faster if you use some level of traction control, maybe set to 1 or 2. 3, I think it's gonna be a little too much, but I think this car is gonna benefit from a little bit of traction control on. The car tends to slide sideways and oversteer a lot coming out of the corners, especially so when you try to get some speed out of the corners. Otherwise, you're gonna have to be pretty slow if you want to prevent the car from sliding out. So let's turn it up one level in the traction control and see if this improves or speed out of the corners. I still don't know what Ford Raptors are doing in races like this. It doesn't make any sense to me. This type of cars belong in one-make races. They're not meant to be among other cars. Yeah, traction control set to 1 makes the car a little bit easier to drive coming out of corners. So it's actually something that I think it's recommendable. It's recommendable. I don't even know if that's an actual word, but it's actually recommended for online races in general. And that's the thing about that I think sets it apart from Forza games. In Forza games, all of the assists, they're actually really intrusive. They make you slower, and which is why I use them. I run in Forza game. I run with all of the assists off. It's not because it makes me faster, but because they are really intrusive. I don't know. They make the car handle a little bit weird. Whereas in Gran Turismo, the assists actually, well, they function as assists. They actually help you out. They actually make you go faster. Which is what I think assists should be all about. That's why they're called assists. So yeah, in this game is actually a lot of fun to use some of the assists. They actually make the car feel a lot better to drive. And in Forza, they don't feel good at all. But then again, they are different games, different audiences, and oh crap, I was well, I obviously don't have a face cam set up, so you couldn't see, but the reason why I hit that barrier head on was because I scratched my nose at the wrong time. Okay. But anyways, that's been our first look at the second layout of the Autodrome Lago Maggiore. Now let's move on to the last layout. Now for this last layout, the only thing I'm gonna change is the tires. I'm gonna change to racing soft. And of course, I'm gonna be running with the traction control off. Well, actually, I think I'm gonna be well, let's run with it off. And if it doesn't work, I'm gonna change it to 1, just like I had it in the previous race. I think that's the sweet spot for the traction control in this car. All right, let's brake just as we come across the 100-meter marker, but it seems that with this car we can afford to brake a little bit later. We ended up stopping much earlier than I had anticipated. using my usual braking points. But that's fine, that's part of the fun. We need to figure out the different braking points in different cars. You need to adjust your braking points based on the car that you're using. It's not kind of fits all type of solution. But yeah, this car can afford to brake a little bit earlier, a bit later actually, at least with these tires on. And it feels like that these tires make your car a little bit slower than with the other ones. I don't know if it's just an impression or... But anyways. My shifting is all over the place as well, but shifting is not my strongest skill in racing games. I started racing manual in 2017. I've been playing racing games for 23 years, and 2017 was the very first time that I actually went out of my way to try and learn to drive manual. Up to that point, I always driven automatic, and I still do in some games, like open world games in general. I tend to stick with automatic, like Forza Horizon, and it's not because I think it's faster that way. It's because I think in open world racers, there's just too much going on. You need to avoid traffic, you need to avoid obstacles, so there's too much for me to focus on to be able to properly shift. I'm not there yet. I think I need to learn to shift properly in track-based racing games before I'm able to kind of translate that into open world racers as well. But yeah, I do expect that at some point I'm going to be able to use manual across all of the games that I play, which is kind of nice. It's actually, I kind of enjoy being in control of the shifting of a car. It makes, like, I don't know, it makes it more personal. I don't know if that's the best way that I can describe what I want to say, but that's the one I'm gonna roll with. It makes the driving experience in a racing game more personal. But yeah, we're about to cross the finish line of this last layout. That's been a first place finish. I think the first one, I think I lost the other one, I don't remember. Well, not exactly lost, but I didn't came out in first either. But anyways, guys, that's been our first look at the 3 new layouts in the Autodrome Lago Maggiore. There are 6 in total, but the other 3 are reverse variations of the layouts that we just checked out. So I hope you had fun watching the video. If you did like it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more GT Sport content, share the video with your friends and on your social media. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate the help. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are in the description down below or at the beginning of the video. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.